Gotta pump it up. Gotta pump it up. We gotta pump it up. 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 Somewhere that video is playing. I want to think so. Welcome to Hex's 5th birthday stream on this channel, at least. Shout out to everyone out there streaming and doing it, making content, just making Twitter, making X just go nuts with all this positivity and fun, non-forward-looking statements of amazing non-expectations. I'm very excited. Very excited. We got a awesome panel, got an awesome group of people joining today, and I'll get to chat in just a moment. Get your questions in. We'll go for about an hour or so, and we're going to have some fun. Going to talk about some good hex stuff, hex.com. You know that hex.com. And we'll get into it. Without further ado, welcome back to the show, Crispy Man, Crypty, and Crypto Kong.
What's up?
Woohoo! Thank
Brought
you.
the jazz band in this morning, man.
I know. I got excited. I was like, I got to start. I was just going to sing a little bit. I'm going to snap my fingers a little bit. It's going to be good. You know, you never know. There could be a saxophone playing at some point. I don't know. It could be fun. Welcome, everyone. All of you have been on the show multiple times, and welcome back. How's it going, Crispy Man?
I'm doing great, buddy. Just fresh off of Maddie's streaming.
I know.
24-hour stream.
You're warmed up. I like it. Kong is back. He's here to show us all about hexfire.io, whoever the founder of that may be as well.
Yeah, whoever that guy is.
Crypty's back to give some free merch digital merch. Just going to throw it out. Going to throw it to us. Throw it to us across there, like a t-shirt cannon, but over the internet, right?
Right.
Hey, yeah, do
Got
that.
my
Send
hex
it.
sweater on.
Nice. That's a good one. I like that one. Somebody said Hex is taking a birthday. Yeah, I know. I checked. I was like, all right, let me prepare in case it's red today. It's okay. I'm going to click the button that says 7-day and it's going to be green. Don't worry. I'm going to fix it. Don't worry.
Yeah, if you got long enough, yep.
Welcome, Hex Glenn as well. Good to see you. A lot of good people there. Yeah, let me pull it up real quick before we get into it. And I know at some point we'll give some. It'll be story time and stuff too. But let's see. Let's check out all these. And we're going to dig into it a little bit more because I know we got some statisticians on retainer today on that zero cost retainer. Look at these stakes. Look at all these 5, 5, 5, 5. Some of them just literally 5, 5, 5, 5 hex, which I mean we hope to be worth a ton more money in the future. But it says 0 T shares. It's probably 0 point. They're just not looking at decimals, like 0 point. Whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere through there. But some of them, I was talking about the green room too, and we saw 30 million hex staked for I think 15 years the other day, which is just incredible.
That's really awesome.
And we've got 55, 555 here. We've got 4 T shares. We've got hundreds of thousands of hex and otherwise, but just really the spirit and getting into the ethos of delaying gratification, trustless yield, DeFi, hopefully mad gains coming up as well. I mean, never seen. I say this all the time. I feel like I just keep broken record. I've never seen anything like this community. The way the things we got up, the healthy games, a lot of the ecosystem that's just self-reinforced winning. I don't know how to say it. Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, a lot of 555. We're going to get in that too. And then, also I'll talk. We'll bring up PulseChain here for a minute too. But look at this. What competition? Ain't no competition. Hex.com. No competition here. And then real quick, we'll do a price check. 24 hours. That's a little bit. I mean, once you go up a lot, sometimes it does go down a little bit. But again, I said we're going to fix it. 3, 2, 1, 7-day. Look at that. I see green. I see a sea of green. Yeah, that was easy fix. Fixed it right there. If you want to keep going, there's probably many more percents. But
I love looking at the weekly chart.
Right. I mean, you got the week. That's what. Who wants to bring up Kong? You want to bring up a chart, Crispy? Anybody, just so we can dig into it a little bit more about the winning that's been the hex lately.
Yeah, I'm not prepared for that yet myself. Kong,
you've been volunteered, or Crypty, if you have something as well, of course.
I was just thinking about Pulse Coin List because I was looking at that a couple of days ago and thinking, how awesome is that? How how many swap dexes we have and 2 onboard offboard ramps and how many live streamers we have, how many projects. Yeah, I think that would be really cool if the people haven't checked that out yet.
I don't know if they have a HEX section or not for specific. I know they got the DeFi section, which has a lot of HEX stuff. Some of them actually list like HEX related systems, but yeah, I mean, was it 248 projects now? Across the ecosystem, the DEXs you mentioned, analytics, DeFi pieces, the Web3 on-off ramps, privacy, community sites and stuff too. Oh yeah, here we go. HEX related.
It's so amazing.
HEX related. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, there's communities, HEX search, HEX postcards. I can't wait to make one of those myself. I want to do that too, the Every Door direct mailing. It's so beneficial for your local communities.
Okay. Pull up Kong's chart. Yeah. What's interesting, Kong? You think? I'll be right back as well.
You left this unsupervised, huh?
Oh, and my mic was muted, but yeah, I was saying I think Hex looks bullish, right? I mean, we saw it kind of take off here. I remember back here, and I think it was in April, we had was it Flex come out? That was the borrowing lending platform for Hex. I think that kind of made the bottom here. You can kind of see it on the chart. But yeah, very, very cool to see. Like, it's probably not just because of the birthday, but I even know, I think if you guys remember with the court case and stuff, like, I think they kind of, as I understood, they were kind of, they kind of put Hex on the back burner a little bit, and they tried to kind of focus on PulseChain and PulseX for some of the SEC dealings. But it looks like the market's really, really enjoying Hex, and even you can bring it back to the OG as well, eHex, and see what's going on over here as well. But yeah, even this one's been taken off. I realized the other day as well. Yeah, this one's back in its kind of range here where it was before we had the RH market decided tweet. So yeah, it's back kind of right at those prices. Like even here yesterday, you could see eHex was at 75 pulse. So that's quite good, right? Especially when you're taking a look down here, like it's sitting at 11. So yeah, it seems like even eHex here, and I think it's become a little bit of a meme coin a little bit as time kind of passes on. But we're seeing it kind of pump here against PLS, which is quite interesting as well. So it could, I don't know, it could still have something left in the tank. Even you can see here it's back near these lows where it was at back before we had that massive run into Q1 this year. So yeah, pretty cool to see. Like, it looks like the hexes are performing. Like we did have the market decided tweet, but even PHEX is back to where it was, like at all-time highs, right? It's basically sitting there at all-time highs. So yeah, I think very, very cool, very, very, very cool, very good for eHex and Hex alike. So
yeah, I think there's a little bit of gamemanship going on with the eHex side. I did see that 100 million Hex was pulled down while the pump was going up. And so either they were allowing the market to go up by pulling that, or they were pulling it in order to get a better price later, thinking the pump would go further. So I don't know. The whole BankX bag is just going to be held over our head for a long time.
Yeah, and I've heard. I haven't heard much about the BankX, but I do know it's kind of one of those, like, it's kind of one of those things on eHex right now that's probably making a lot of people not want to play around with it. But I do think that, I think last time, I think if I remember correctly, BankX has, I think they're getting out of their eHex position slowly but surely, and
yeah, they are.
Yeah, so who knows how much longer they will or however long they will be holding that much Hex for, but who knows, maybe once they're out as well, because I think that's kind of their goal. I don't know if they're trying to hold a moonbag or anything anymore. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I think once they're out, I think it'll be a lot more clear skies for EHEX as well. But yeah, so
Yeah, and I don't, listen, I haven't talked to the gentleman directly about it, but I just get the feeling, and somebody had said this today that I heard it, so I'm repeating it. Just get the feeling they might be better off taking that EHEX and LPing it with PHEX. That's actually a pretty good way to.
That's a great idea. Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I think even
BankX better be listening to this stream, man.
I think even over on the PHEX, if there isn't a incentivized pool already, I'd have to go check. But I mean, I'm sure you could get one on the 2 PHEX or whatever, and actually earn on that. Because I'll tell you what, the volume between the two is huge, man. I I LP it, and in the right ranges, it's really good. I mean, even the general LP is good. It's got a lot of volume. Right, because we're going to have EX coming out forever, and people are going to want to do something with it. And where's the market? It's here on PulseChain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Do you gentlemen think that ETH fees will ever be cheap again with an update, and then that would positively affect EHEX?
I think I heard something about, I think it was like Phantom or their upgrades can be applied to Ethereum, and they can also be applied to PulseChain. And I heard it's going to be some sort of massive throughput. So I don't exactly know, but perhaps maybe some of the fees on some of the L1s, even PulseChain Ethereum, can be or could be getting a little bit cheaper. I think that could definitely make EHEX a little bit more like incentivize people a little bit to actually like hold on to it and actually stake it, right? Like if it costs you now 10 times less to end your stake, maybe you have a little bit more of a crowd coming back to EHEX, but it still looks like you might have PHEX reign supreme. So yeah, but
Yeah,
that's kind of my
naturally.
thoughts on it. So
Those are great thoughts.
Got a question here from Cryptographics. How much did it take to pump EHEX 100x? What's the moon math on EHEX? You get anything on that, Carl?
we might be able to pull something up, or Crispy, do you have something as well?
No, that's one. I'll leave this to you, my friend.
All right, we'll check something out here. We'll see if
you want the number, you want the amount of LP that's out there with it on the PulseChain side. Or?
You going downloadable DeFi, Carl?
I might. I think I should be live on my website. I just want to like test it out here to make sure everything's correct. But here I'll share my screen here. You could do like probably just a quick moon math here on EHEX. For any of you guys that don't know, we've done these similar sort of moon maths on this channel before. These essentially the same sort of logic in the scripts is available in Python in Max's downloadable data Git. This is on my website. Yeah, it is kind of behind a couple doors if any of you guys are trying to reach to it. There is a kind of a public moon math calculator, but it's a little bit different. Anyways, like if we're just taking a look at EHEX here, and I will say don't take this as kind of an absolute value. Don't take this as an absolute value, but take it kind of like relatively speaking. We can also see all the pools here. Like this is EHEX on PulseChain. Like it's adding up across from Dex Screener, at least it's adding up $5 million across all of its pairs, which isn't that much liquidity. Like there is altcoins on PulseChain with more liquidity than EHEX on PulseChain. So there is that. But yeah, if you take a look at the X's here, you can see like 1645X for EHEX if you were to do like $100 million injection. And then to kind of put this in comparison as well, like if we do the same sort of logic for WPLS and you do the same like $100 million injection, just because you have $87 million in total liquidity here, right? You can see you're only going to squeeze out about a 10.86x. And I think a lot of the hexkins, a lot of the influencers even here on PulseChain has kind of talked about how it doesn't take a lot of at least relatively speaking, it doesn't take a lot of economic energy to pump the price of EHEX, even relative to something like PHEX. Like $1 million is going to make a lot more of a difference in a token like EHEX than it would in a token like PHEX. And we can also do a comparison as well and take a look at PHEX and see kind of what that would look like as well if you guys want to take a look at that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Incalculable.
And I will say as well, Max, it's good. It's letting us talk about HEX, and because I think last couple times like it gatekeeps HEX for some reason. So yeah, very very good that we're able to kind of pull some of these calculations out. But you can see here on HEX as well. Same $100 million calculation, same sort of X times Y equals K logic. And you can see $100 million into HEX puts you, and again, don't take this as kind of an absolute value, but kind of take it as like a relatively speaking amount. Like you can see you would pull out a 25X on PHEX versus WPLS here, like a 10.86X. And that's everything all being the same, just obviously you'd have different liquidity for some of the different pairings and stuff. And yeah, you can kind of get a sense of what this calculator is accounting for. Like you can see there's some DAI pairs here, USDC pairs, USDT pairs, PLSX pairs, more DAI pairs, things like this, right? So things that will actually kind of, like if you were to inject liquidity in, kind of dictate the price of PLS or whichever asset. So yeah, I will say, if you are bullish on HEX, like, and it doesn't, even on both of the hexes, like, and especially EHEX, it doesn't take a massive amount of economic energy to have kind of these massive price gains, right? And if we were talking about Richard Hart as well, like with the SAC treasury, and if we're able to bring some sort of like economic energy over into the PulseChain, then who knows, if he decides to buy EHEX with, I'm saying Richard, it could be anybody, right? But if anybody decides to buy EHEX or PHEX with 100 million versus WPLS with 100 million, you're going to pump EHEX and PHEX a lot more with that said $100 million, given all things equal. And I will say there's a lot more disclaimers on this stuff as well. If you guys want to play around with some of these scripts, like I said, they're on RHMax's. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, you mind running one against, instead of a large amount of liquidity, just a long 700K or 1 million if you just want to.
And for which token would you want to see
this
that
is,
for?
This is for EHEX. Well, what I mean is this. Okay, you're going out and getting the LP, right? So I guess we'd have to do it by hand. So when I look at the liquidity web, and I don't have all the sources, but I have most of them. I don't have the PHEX, but to value, I don't see more than about 700K in liquidity. But I see the same kind of numbers you see when you talk about token to token to token to token to token, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I know people watching don't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's a lot more complicated. In the way we're looking at it. Yeah, because we look at an isolated pool, it's just multiply this by this and it goes up. But yeah, there's probably some give and take. Like it's not that there's 5 million in liquidity, and it's not that there's 500,000. There's like some path to liquidity that's of real value, and that's what gets pumped. And yeah, I'm sorry, dude.
No, that it's good. It's good to also kind of explain as well, and that's why I say like don't take these figures as absolute values. I will say like do not.
Yeah, it's in isolation to give people an idea of magnitude. How I think what I take back from what you're saying is how easy is it for Pulse to pump versus EHEX versus PulseX versus PHEX? You know, how easy is it to pump? Not how much money really needs to come in, because I don't think you need 100 million to come in to do it.
Exactly. Right. And that's the thing. It's looking at like your magnitude, right? That relative speak between like some of the different assets and stuff. Like again, like I wouldn't take this as an absolute value. So
let me throw this to you. I mean, this is very abstract, way out, like rolling all the way back out. Constant product formula if I double the, if I had a pool of DAI in my token, right, and I double the amount of DAI, what happens to my token price? 4x, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so I guess one of the ways you could look at it is how much in stables do we have versus everything else, and just pretend it's one big giant pool. How much
That's
do we
true.
have in stables? And now we know it wouldn't be a clean 4x, but if you doubled the amount of stables, the system would go up 4x. Now, where would that all go? I don't know. I don't even know how much we have in stables. What do we got?
About 60, 75 million, depending on, or maybe 80 million if you include some of like the CST and stuff. And there's probably more stable coins like some of the native stuff like Flex and like the other like protocols and stuff. Can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but yeah, probably close to 100 million, I would say, combined across. Probably see it all on here, but yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting train of thought. I just thought about
92 million.
But
yeah, that is a very good point. It kind of goes to show you as well, like and there will probably be some things that will pump harder, right? That they might be able to get. There might be a route that gets taken through the liquidity that pumps a certain token more than another one. Things like this, right?
Yeah, sorry, Cryptic Girl, we're getting geeky here.
Actually,
yeah.
I'm loving this. I have a clarification question.
Yeah. Well, I didn't infer that you weren't interested. I just didn't peg you as a geek. But we get pretty detailed. I guess what I'm thinking when Kong says that, right? So, we can see that tokens do better when they have liquidity to value. So that means that if they have liquidity to EDI, to EUSDC, all that stuff, they do better, right? So Kong, I'm thinking like what you like, just Kong just said. There are some tokens, they're just out here somewhere, right? They're out in outer space, and they're connected to another token, and they're connected to another token, and they're connected to another token. Then they get to value, right? So that one doesn't get an even share. Like all those tokens don't get an even share. If you thought about it, like, there's 100 tokens, they all get 1% of whatever the movement is. It's only getting probably 1% if that's how it is, right? Because it's got to go token to token to token to token, and so that just goes up that chain. Other things that are actually, paired to value at the same extent would probably go higher. Yeah. Way over my head. We need to get somebody like Professor Lamont Black in here or something, or another crypto.
Shout out to the Hexonomist, Lamont Black.
And I was trying to think of exactly how you could kind of. I don't know how exactly you could calculate price, right? Because if you could try and calculate price, then you effectively would have some sort of crystal ball, and then you could calculate the price, right? And you would that's. Not sure exactly how you could do that, but there probably is some sort of something you can take a look at to kind of gauge where a price might land, right? So
what we need is one of these electrical engineer types that are out here watching this, who are going, "Oh, this sounds just like a network diagram for a circuit that I'm building." We need that guy or lady to help us figure this out, because I agree with you, it's math, right? And at least you snapped the line and you knew what all these pairs were and where they were going to power, right? And in a circuit like that, what the resistance is between them all. This is a calculation. I mean, perhaps somebody's done this already. Maybe there's a couple people that have already done this, so this is the result that we're seeing. They're like, like I envision the Atropa dev going, "I'm going to push this lever over here, and Crispy's going to raise his right hand," like little puppet maker stuff going on there.
From what I understand, what you guys are saying is that you don't have to bring as much liquidity, like 100 million, if you have the liquidity pools tied to the hex pairs, like DAI having a lot of liquidity in the pool tied to the hex pair to bring the hex value up. Is that right?
Well, it certainly helps HEX to have liquidity to value at some point. Yes, yes. I'd be unsure to say that it would help the price of HEX to have a lot of liquidity, in relation to other things, because then it's going to be drawn to $1, whatever that ratio is to the dollar, and kind of get stuck there. But kind of not what you said, but the opposite. Like if you said, I've got Crypty Girl token, you said, Crispy, what should I put this? How should I set up LP? I'd say Pulse EDI HEX. It would be my first three choices, because those are the ones we see. At least that's what my observation is. It might vary token to token, but those are the ones we see that draw the most demand. Followed by PulseX and Inc. And it can be time phased too, right? I mean, today it might be that's the right order. We know Pulse is always part of the list, but tomorrow those will all switch around. But those are the primes.
Mm-hmm.
Need some stats on some 5555s. How do we get that? Does hexfire.io have some sort of magical wand that can perhaps bring up the incredible number of 5555 stakes that we've been seeing lately?
Oh, you want to see that? Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry, Kong. I do.
People want to see it.
You sort of make me think about this. Like, yeah, I've been in the trenches. Give me just a moment. I'll share.
While we're waiting, you guys can enjoy this business card. See if you can see it.
Ooh, yeah, sleek. Nice job.
RHMax.tv. Money printer go burr.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Your head hurt from thinking about this stuff yet, you guys? I know it hurts my head.
I'll have the computer sessions where I'm thinking about it too much, and then you walk away from the computer and it feels like your brain is bruised or something like this. Like it's like, damn.
Like take a walk. Take a walk, go get a taco, and you feel good again.
You gotta take that fish oil, man. You gotta take that omega 369.
Ethan, actually, shout out to fish oil, by the way. Yes, that's good stuff. Talk about the importance of infrastructure.
Is that one of our users? Fish oil.
Fish oil.
One of the people in chat.
Fish oil. If you're in the chat, high quality fish oil. If you're in the chat, welcome. Yes, at some point, hopefully, we'll see some updates on Permabull and GIF and different stuff like that at some point. But and I think Pulsar is also doing some liquidity stuff for PulseChain. I'm not sure what the roadmap or how far along things are on that side yet, but yeah, hopefully we'll see some more Permabull stuff in the future. And all kinds of amazing projects on PulseChain will start popping off, and there'll be confetti, and just basically Crispy's background will basically be the world.
We hope
That
so.
would be epic.
Somewhere between Crispy and Crispy, somewhere through there. Both of those just very festive backgrounds. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, one of those conferences they called on Cryptic Girl, I thought it was me. I thought they were calling.
Oh,
I was like, yeah.
Crispy man, Cryptic Girl. I mean, it's there's some rhyming or something there. Yeah.
So cool. I'll go check on these numbers again, but I think that Maddie confirmed them. It was somewhere around 506 or something of that nature. If anybody else had seen that, but this is the little panel we had come up with. It was counting, so you should stop counting now, unless my dates are off. We had a pretty good amount of people actually participate in this over the last 24 hours. It's pretty daunting, actually. So many of us really stepped up and did that. I say stepped up, not so much to transfer value or anything like that, but to
holy crap,
step up to support the system and say, hey, you know what, we're doing something here.
5.
That's very strong support. The HEX community is so powerful.
And they're showing it on chain. We can see it. We can see people putting their money where their mouth is too. Yeah. We had the 30 million HEX the other day for 5555, and now literally these are today, right? December 2nd. You got some big ones. A lot of T-shares up there.
Let's see if the dates got screwed up. No, they all say 12. Oh, we got a couple threes stuck in here. Okay. Yeah, I was afraid of that because systems don't understand UTC sometimes, so I got to go back and do that. But I'll work on that right now and do it. But so I get a couple extra snuck in there, man. But
No
'cause
worries.
I have my date there. But yeah, we had pretty good turnout there, and then we had on the east side had a pretty good turnout as well. Look at that, another 5 million, 4 million.
At least
1,000
those
t-shirts.
15-year HEX stakes probably won't have to worry about super high ETH fees anymore because it should be solved by then.
Might be the end of the world. I don't know.
Brain, 5,000 IQ, alien, Vitalik. And 15
Yeah, who
years, I think gas fees may be, I'm going to bet they will be solved as well. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. We'll look at the 2040 to see how this has come out. This one may need to be updated tonight. We got almost 1 million records now between the two different chains on each chain now. And so that's a lot of stakes to be looking at. So at least several hours ago, let's say 2 hours ago, maybe this ran because it was for 12 a.m. tomorrow. So go back 5 hours. That would have been around 7 o'clock. So right about closing time for the day. And let's go just take a look at this little panel here. So this is roundabout what the numbers were as we closed out the day, as all these folks were doing their thing.
Wow.
And so we ended up, we added a lot of T-shares today.
Yeah.
Because we're in the 6,000.
That's amazing.
So people are kicking butt. We reduced the number of Poseidons because we added so many whales, sharks, and dolphins. Went down from 3 to 2. But yeah.
That's pretty amazing. That's enough to get rid of a Poseidon. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
There's a lot of dolphins and squids and quite a few sharks. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's, listen, this is a battle that I'm going to continue for a long time until we start seeing people get the idea about what they're missing out on. I don't know that I can actually communicate it well enough that anybody will, not anybody, that the mass majority will understand what an opportunity it is in terms of HEX to stake quadricycle. But I'm going to keep trying. But the long and short of it is, listen, there's not very many T-shares out there. All right, we're talking about, we got millions now, and in 39 we got 35,000. Now we have 8,000 in 2040. Wow. And when they start going, when HEX is more expensive and that share rate goes up, yes, people are going to participate, but when are they suddenly going to decide? Yeah, they're going to do $100,000 T-shirts. Who's going to do that? Right? The normal person still stuck in the kind of wages that they get already. So yeah, sure, whales might do a bunch.
I hope
stuff.
not.
Well, we won't be.
Well, I mean, even for the regular public, by 2040, I'm really hoping that something's changed with currencies. Either the dollar is super valued or other currencies have revalued. I'm really hoping for a different world by that time. But, this is the practical thing we're talking about. Very good points, Crispy.
I think we're poised. I think the HEX community and PulseChain in general is poised to really take advantage of what will happen. But I don't know. I'm kind of pessimistic outside of crypto because
really, wow.
I mean, well, what I mean is not pessimistic against the world. It's just that prices keep going up. I mean. Groceries are ridiculous. Thank God I don't have any kids left. They're all grown up. They feed themselves.
I like this timeline. Let's be optimistic about this timeline. We worked hard to get this timeline. I guess something. This is a better timeline than it could have been. I want to say.
I'm going to move to the next one over. I think
the multiverse is real.
It is. The multiverse is real.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, I'm Spider-Man. I might be Spider-Girl. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, listen, in that theory, all possibilities. If you can think it, it exists. In fact, thinking it causes it to exist. So. All right, back to Hex.
Hex.com.
Oh, and all those 555 stakers from yesterday, they're going to have awesome calm start and end bonuses too. Communist.pro.
That is 100% true. They get pretty good because you get almost like I don't know what the real numbers. You got to go look on the website or with the guys in the chat on com. But it's something like 50 times more calm.
That's significant.
For doing a Quattro Cinco.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Did you all know that you can mint your own rewards? There's no middleman or minimums with Hex.com.
Where would that be?
That was at Hex.com.
What website is that?
It's Hex.com.
Is this a new token?
It's the Hex token. You remember the Hex token, right? The Hex token. Wow. Win diamond, Dev. I want the diamond. Win diamond, Dev. Win possession of diamond, Dev.
Have you heard any reports of people not being able to click through to the site anymore, and it coming up as like, some sort of phishing site? Maybe it's just might be my virus checker.
I haven't seen that yet. Hopefully not.
I haven't had any of those reports or experiences. I would hope not.
Well, the man's trying to save us. I like the Monopoly guy. I met him once in Vegas.
That's cool.
This is actually, I was looking the other day about just every once in a while. I was doing some streams before about what does it look like when people, research Hex? What do they come across? And of course, there's the news part that goes ups and down, but there's like, what do they find on the website? And this website actually has a lot of really good information that you kind of take for granted that we've heard it a million times, but it's actually very concise and very much like, wow, if I read this and I was interested, in DeFi and interested in all these, all the different game theory and mechanics and stuff, I'd be like, well, this thing seems pretty cool. If I just like took it at face value and said, oh, okay. And wow, it's got all this price performance and all this stuff too. Look at even highlight it. It's in pink. Like it's
amazing. The perfect sales and marketing tactics. And then to be concise enough for short engagement. So it captures you enough to give you the quick points.
Captures you. Yes, it's a great way. Yep.
Well, I'll tell you, what it does, it captures those of us who are willing to believe. I would put it that way, right? Remember, he said, Richard always talked about having originally designed it, and I think it's been refined this way, to appeal to people who can be scammed in order to not scam them, but to lock them into something. I think I fit that category. Right. Like I'm looking and have been looking so hard for something that is real in the world that I was able to look at this and, Hex in the beginning and be like, yeah, this is something I'm really interested in. If this guy's real and all this stuff is real, this is really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people, a ton of people, the majority would fall into that category of seeing it and being willing to believe in Hex, seeing this information. So that's why the Every Door direct mailers are so powerful too for people that know nothing about crypto or investing. And if they do just go to hex.com, then they're like, oh, I think this would be really good if I can actually make this much.
Amazing. Yeah, this is a super key resource. Like it's not, I don't know. You imagine if we go to other crypto websites and stuff, you really don't have this kind of like concise information about, even talks about T-shares and B-shares, M shares. Yeah. Okay. So let's solve this. What do you all think about? If we get to one day, I mentioned this briefly on Twitter, like Crispy as well. I'm calling it little T shares. I've also heard K shares. So 1,000 shares instead of trillion shares. If we get to that point. Sometime. Do you think little T shares, we have big T and little T, or do you think K shares is better? What do y'all think?
I prefer the letter.
Is that me, Max?
No, that was Crypty. I think you broke up for a second, Crypty.
Oh, my apologies. I prefer the letter. I think people know what K means. K means 1,000.
Mm.
So you prefer
Yeah.
K? Okay. What about you, Crispy? Kong.
I can support that. I mean, I don't have any strong feelings about it. I think that makes sense. I think more when you asked that question, I was thinking more along the lines of when is it a thing? You know, when does it become a thing?
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I would say,
2025. No.
you think? Well, yeah, very much. But I mean, I was thinking price. Um, so if we go by the idea that most people can't come up with $500, right, in the world, right? You know, certainly the U.S. A lot of them can't come up with $500. Never mind $1,000, but $500 might be a nice round number. So you know what? When T shares hit 500 and higher, they ain't getting full T shares anymore. Now I don't mean crypto people that are already in crypto and got a lot of money out here already. I mean, like new
Mm-hmm.
people coming in, your grassroots. So I think that's when, you know, and of course, as the price escalates, that goes up. And now you know, with the 20% increase in the t-shirt cost with Hex, very quickly you catapult into a world of B shares, right?
Yeah.
Well, is it actually solved on here? Is it just called beyond M share? It's just shares. Is that what officially on the website is calling it? Just shares instead of A shares or little T shares? Are we
I
doing
don't
that
know if
correct?
anybody's thought that far.
I mean, where I got it highlighted on the website, it says one M share equals 1 million shares. Is it
Mm-hmm.
is it just calling it shares? Maybe it's already been figured out. But what's a part of a share? Now you start out.
Well,
H.
A B share would be the next one up, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and
Well,
then
here it's got,
below that would be the 1K.
so you got T share, B share, M share, and it says one M share equals 1
Oh
million
yeah, I missed that
shares.
part.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
make the
saying. It's like,
screen
is it
bigger.
already just shares then at that point? Maybe. I don't know. Like, Kong, weigh in on this. This is important.
I still think I think K shares sounds better, but I still think people would probably just call it T shares, even if there's B shares or M shares or whatever it is. I think people will just resort to just calling it the T share, because yeah, I think it's just what we're all kind of used to as well. That kind of makes sense to me. Like even if I had like I mean, maybe if the numbers got super duper small, it wouldn't make sense to say, well, I have 0.00001 T shares. So maybe you would turn it into shares at that point. But yeah, I think for the next little while we'll probably just be using T shares. But I do think K shares sounds better if there ever is a migration that happens or something like that. So
Sticking with the little T shirts. It just sounds fun. I don't know. I just said it when I'm like, all right, now I gotta justify it. Now I gotta keep putting
Hey,
things behind it.
you're
you
just gonna
know,
ask all your guests now, hey, by the way, what do you think sounds better?
It's
you could do that.
yeah, it's a Vim versus Emacs discussion. Also in the nerd world, there's left-handed versus right-handed. I don't know. Anyways, what's
It's a fun question because it's
yeah,
bullish. It's a fun
yeah.
question.
You can decide who to be friends with based on the answer. Exactly. It's really fun. I was kidding. Um, welcome everyone in the chat. I want to get a couple questions and then we can get to some hex memories, memorandum. Crypty's got an amazing story. I definitely want to, if you've seen her on the show before, she's talked about it too. I'm pretty sure there's a clip, but I want to see what we got. Yeah, chat. What are your favorite? We've been at 5 years now. What are your favorite hex memories? The opposite of sadness times. Put those in the chat. All the good stuff. And we had a question about LP, I think, from Tam Tam earlier. Let me see if I can find it.
Tam Tam.
Shout out to
She's
Tam
my
Tam.
she's my favorite. My
She
favorite.
is. She
She is a
comes. She
sweetheart.
says, yeah. She says has a lot of good questions and comments from time to time. Where do you LP it at? So I think that was earlier in the conversation. Maybe when Kong was talking about LP. By the way, Kong, what is your website? Let me share that in the chat as well. Or you wanted to share it, but is it public? How did I miss this? You're probably on mute.
Yeah, it is a public site. The calculator, the public calculator might be a little bit different than the one you were seeing me use today. But if you go to look into pdgc.com/moonmath, you can see the calculator there. I'll see if I can post it in the chat.
Oh, gotcha.
Also,
So
you might have to do moon-math as well. I think I left that one out. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, for anyone in the chat who wants to kind of play around with it, there's a bunch of quick links as well. Like there's like HEX WPLS there. So yeah, you can do sort of more kind of simulations as well if you guys want to take a look at the site and stuff. But yeah, take a click on that, scroll down a little bit, and yeah, you can see that's PHEX at 69 cents if WPLS goes and does a 30x from here. So and that's just if the current ratio stays the same. So yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff on there. I recommend just read all the disclaimers on a lot of the moon math, especially and stuff. There's also like a little like how it works and like pro tips. You can read into those a little bit on the bottom of the site as well if you want a little bit more context on what exactly is going on as well. So.
And scripts you were talking about earlier, me and Colin covered on here, downloadable data.
Yeah.
So there's different scripts on here to get different types of data, transaction stuff, liquidity volume, common holdings, and then Kong has added the liquidity simulator and the Hart's Law simulator as well for some command line stuff, along with different notes about that. I think she was asking where do you LP? Maybe it's just like where you LP in general, where to place on PulseChain LP. Maybe that was the question. I'm not sure, Tam, if you want to clarify as well, but I'm going to scroll for a sec.
Yeah, I was taking it as where to do the LP to earn on it. And I think you can do V2 on PulseX. And of course, then there's V3s and then PHEX.
Johnny asked, how's that EQS Colin playing the recent Blizzard with the 4x4? You may be muted again.
I don't know.
How's that EQS, Colin?
Okay. Yeah. Are you playing online games with Professor Chaos, Mr. John Chaos?
Do not think so.
Maybe different Kong. Not sure. Paul asked, what month during the 2020-21 cycle was the famous hex dumper wallet D01 out of the system? Anyone got anything on that?
Not too sure.
Was it not too share or not too sure?
Not too sure.
I have the answer for that, but I won't share.
Yeah, not too sure.
Yeah, I was just asking about that. Though. I don't know what happened to D01. I don't know if it's completely out of the system or not. I didn't remember it that way. You know, that particular wallet like completely sold out of everything. Maybe they came back. I don't know. It was pretty prolific though, in selling all the way down.
Back when I was doing liquidity, that's
how it's done fast.
Get forced out of PHEX by Richard. I think that was a sacrifice. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was a sacrifice by Godwell to BankX of EHEX only. Is that correct?
Correct.
So there's nothing to get forked out of the PX on that side because there was nothing at the fork, I believe. Or I assume at the fork the PX was kept by Godwell or otherwise. But yeah, it was just EX sac as far as I remember. All right, what else? Yes, my internet rugs from time to time. It is all part of the experience. Fun stuff, fun times. Who wants to kick us off? Hex.com stories. Past 5 years. Who wants to kick us off with one of their favorite fun memories? Could just be fun, could be funny, could be, again, opposite of sadness. Good times. They've been hard times. They've been good times. There's been all kinds of fun stuff happening. Who wants to kick us off with a story?
I just think it's funny when, I don't know if I should name any names, but I just think it's funny when you have some of those Hexkins on the Hex conference. Just kind of, if you guys remember, there's a couple funny streams that happened, I think last year. So that's probably one funny kind of memory that kind of gets brought to mind. But I don't know if that's all the best for everyone. So.
What was it again? Let me bring Whitney in real quick. Welcome back to the show, Whitney Magic.
Hey, Whitney.
Hello.
Welcome.
It's Whitney Magic.
Speaking of putting in work, Whitney's been putting in work, I believe, trying to onboard the world onto the PulseChain, and I imagine Hex as well.
It's been so great. I had 20 sales calls or discovery calls this week. I had 3 today. It's amazing. Life's been rich.
Way to go.
So we're just sharing some fun Hex stories and stuff. Kong, could you say that one again about the streaming one? I didn't quite get that one.
I was just talking about whenever you have some of the Hexkins end up drunk on some of the ceremonial streams there. I just think that kind of stuff's funny, but I don't know how mature it is. So.
And it's been the bear market, so I just imagine how
imagine the bull market, what might happen.
Well, hopefully all good fun. Well, hopefully. Whitney, do you have any fun or positive otherwise stories to share of your experience in with Hex or onboarding, or it could be anything endearing or anything fun?
I mean, I got lucky. Well, I didn't try. I came into Hex right before Big Payday, the last one. So I fortunately got to scoop that up. And I did a stake that was short enough. So this was like October 2020, that I was able to ride it up, and then it ended and I was able to exit that stake with 100x return. So that's been a great story to Hex.
Very nice. Huh?
Yeah. And then of course, as everything went and the euphoria went, I still kept buying the up and buying the down and everything in between, but got one story.
Well
Sounds
done.
like a dollar cost averaging story.
Yeah.
May you have the maddest of gains, all you dollar cost averagers out there. So there's an interesting stat. I think I had it on, what was it? Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. It's pretty interesting as far as like DCA stuff. So I did the math on, let's see. It was 40 cents. Let's see. Yeah, so $500 of Hex at 1 cent gets you 50,000. $500 of Hex at 40 cents gets you 1250. If you bought the same amount at 40 cents and 1 cent, your DCA price is actually 2 cents. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that like this was during a time I was looking up like around, everyone's like, Hex is going down so much, it's below a penny. And, a lot of people bought it, 20, 30, 40, 50 cents and stuff. But it's like, again, if you DCA and number go way up, then, it could where your actual cost average, if you're buying the same amount, could be way different. And I think that was pretty hopeful and pretty fun to.
That puts it in great perspective. Definitely do the $500 buy at 1 penny then.
Mm-hmm.
How many people did it? How many bought, $500,000 worth at 40 cents and they got down to 1 penny? They're like, I don't want to buy anymore. It doesn't feel good to buy right now. But if you did, and now Hex is over 2 pennies, and who knows where it's going to go. But Crispy, preach to the choir of the power of DCA. You talked about that before, haven't you?
Power of DCA.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I don't know. Well, just understand that if you're DCAing now, you are running against the clock, right? So risk reward is low because we've already gone up a little bit, but there's still opportunity. We were talking about this on the stream with Maddie. A lot of folks come in. I got $1,000. I want to walk away with $1 million. Well, that may not happen. It could happen, but that may not happen for you at this point. But yeah, DCA is the way to go, and I think we can show that over time, particularly if you use indicators like the indicators that I have that clearly show when we're at bottoms and you start collecting, you can really DCA the hell out of things. I did that with I'll give you my degen. I like Doge. I've always liked Doge. I bought Doge in 2019. I sold it too early when it went up, right? And so after a little while, we went through that 21 up and down. I have buy signals that came in and said, much like anything else. I mean, they were right around the same time as HEX and Bitcoin and Ethereum. I said, start DCAing. So I DCA'd for a year and 4 months. No, it was September. So let's see, it came in 22. Now it's feeling like I'm old. But it came in 22. Yeah, I did it. I did it for over 2 years. I DCA'd. It was like $3 a day, $5 a day, something around that number. It's 5 figures now, right? I didn't put that much in. I'm way in profit. I would have done better if I had just sum totaled it all in at the bottom, but I didn't do that. But anyways, DCA is very strong. I'm looking forward to the point in time where on PulseChain I can push a button and just tell it to buy me $5 a HEX every day. We have some tools that almost do it, but they don't always work. I'm looking forward to this. Is that the answer that you were looking for, or did I miss the droids? Or
you always give me the answer I'm looking for, Crispy.
no?
Yeah, no, I did all of it. I mean, Crispy puts in a lot of work with the HEX almost daily reports. I feel like at their stream and putting in the analytics pieces. So really like to. Also, Johnny also said in the comments, unrelated. I'm not sure I actually saw this before. If you buy 1,000 units at $1,000 or at $1,000, so $1 each. Okay, so $1. Then it drops 99%. You buy 1,000 worth of penny each. What price did it break even? 2 cents. There you go. There you go. A lot of people got it right there, though. People got it right. Good stuff. Mm-hmm. Did you buy the dips, chat? Did you buy the dips? Have you been yelling about T-shares? I know I yelled a lot in 2023, 2024 too, but I was like, these T-shares so cheap. These T-shares so cheap. And then what happened? Price went up. Couldn't have predicted it. Could not have predicted that at all. Wouldn't have predicted it either. Crispy, any amazing HEX stories you have to share?
That's what I was going to ask him too. I was like, I want to hear Crispy's.
What would I consider to be amazing? Man, there's so many stories, met so many people. I would say, that trip out to Vegas the first time was probably the highlight so far. That was pretty amazing. And I know that some people might think maybe the community's moved on from that, but I don't think so. I think that the most amazing story about HEX is how we can all get in a room, like physically in a room, and people can converse like they know each other. I mean, it is such common ground,
Mm-hmm.
like, something about, somebody had said something about it being like a small town today,
Mm-hmm.
and I could see that.
Mm-hmm. That Hexicans care about one another, and the common uniting is that they're all HEX investors, and yeah, you can chat with anyone at HEX conferences, and you're already friends with everyone there because you all believe in HEX, and you're believing in it when everyone else isn't. So that already makes you friends.
Definitely, there's that for sure.
Well, big commonality I see is we just refuse to lose. Like, honestly, it's like we want to win, and we're going to do whatever it takes to win. And I think, yeah, I want to win. I mean, I think everyone here is like, hey, we put in enough work, enough effort. We have these values. Again, we love DeFi, price performance. We love community. Again, the small town analogy is great too. But it's like, I'm not here to lose. I'm here to win. So let's do it. Let's keep going. Let's make sure this thing is special, is something that that people can't get anywhere else. So that's what I like about it.
Absolutely.
And I think also the energy of winning together.
Mm-hmm.
Even it was 2 weekends ago, I hosted a HEX and Pulse. Well, I just called it a crypto meetup, trying to rally in anyone that I could. But it was a bundle of different, we had some people who drove 2 hours, hour and a half away to just like come and meet up in Austin. And also just post on Twitter, and whoever came around, came around. But anyways, it was really special in the sense of like, people talked exit strategies. They talked of like where we're at. And it's just kind of like grabbing all of our people together and being like, oh, didn't know that you lived in this town, in this city. But everyone gets to just come together for that shared value.
That's so fun. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're doing an amazing job, Whitney. Thank you for onboarding so many people to the HEX community. Thank you.
It's been fun.
You know, I have a question for you about that. Are you utilizing things like Coast, and when you're doing the onboarding and the communist links and these different types of referrals that are available?
Actually, no. I've dropped in Coast a few times, but I just taught everyone the OG way so they knew how to do things old school. And that they felt that level of empowerment to that degree. But no, I haven't leaned into the other referrals either. No.
Yeah. I know that, Crypto Coffee does a lot of different things, you know, and of course he does have his courses and whatnot. Sometimes I don't question your motives at all. But I think sometimes people are a little bit more motivated when they also get referrals, you know, for when they do the onboarding. And so there's referrals there to his system of classes and whatnot for additional crypto training. And then there's also referrals to communists when people go to stake and they collect. You can also receive that. And then Coast offers a referral as well. So there's a couple. There might be more of them out there. I was just thinking about the onboarding. Now, it could be that you pass it up too. That's fine. I mean, you know, I was just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Because people can also self-refer themselves. That's the other thing they forget about. You know, you can self-refer yourself and get referrals for referring.
It reminds me
yourself.
of, I can just like hear Richard saying, it's like, you can self-refer yourself. You get extra 10%. Was that the?
And I
the
did
line?
that.
With HEX during the launch. Yeah.
Turned out to be a good deal.
A lot of good onboarding material out there. Yeah, we have no shortage of information. If you're interested in the HEX community, PulseChain ecosystem, like you got streamers, you got content creators, you got websites at the wazoo. It's pretty awesome.
Question for you guys. So now I see in the chat. So Coast, yes, with Spritz and with some of these other ones, do we have onboarding ramps that go just through credit cards or just through debit cards? Do you know?
Well, I think you have that capability with the Coast.
Okay.
In that it's ACH, so meaning it's normal transfer type stuff. So I think you can actually do that, but I guess we'd have to check. I don't know. I guess I don't have a clear answer for you. Anybody else know?
I don't.
I think a lot of it, I mean, most of it, a lot of the ones I see go through Change Now, which is either crypto to crypto, or I think they have a credit card option as well. But Coast is the only one I know that goes through like ACH. I'm sure there's some other services, but and bridges, you have bridges to come from other networks and stuff too. But for dollars, yeah. Well, and of course, you know, centralized exchanges and stuff. Well, we'll see. I imagine there'll be more. I imagine that once the bull market starts heating up, there'll be some more interesting stuff coming. Mm-hmm. Somebody said Venmo. I'm not sure. Is there a Venmo?
Yes, there is. You can buy ETH on Venmo and then send it over.
Okay. Well, maybe so. There's the Square or Block or whatever, Cash App or something. Don't they do that?
Cash, yeah. I don't know if Cash App lets you send it in network, but Robinhood does. And now I get this big stack of XRP, and of course XRP price is going up. So I'm like, hey, you know, I can send that to Robinhood. Yeah. I don't know if I would do that, but maybe.
Yeah, getting in Hex plus 2 couple makes to it. I mean, like I said, we have some. There's some options out there, but hey, what's the best? The canonical answer. What's the best onboarding green candles? People seeing green candles, they're going to try a little bit harder. They're going to be like, yeah, show me how to do it. I'll take the time now. Maybe in the bear market it's a little harder, but maybe the bull market it'll be a little bit easier.
People move fast now. Now I have people I have a 15-hour 101 program, and people are binging it in a weekend, in a week, and they're like, I need to hop on a 101 with you now. And I'm like, cool, great.
That's awesome.
It doesn't take much friction, or it's very friction free. And
Nice.
people are so down to learn. And also when you premise it with okay, this is all security fronting and you get to be your own bank, that's a huge empowerment thing for people as well. I haven't had anyone complain about the extra steps that it takes.
Wow, that's actually amazing. You must have a younger audience.
30 to 55 women.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Every time I get complaints of all the steps it has to take. But have you used hexscout.com to onboard?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that one is actually amazing for especially boomers. That one's also really simple, really easy to get started. Hexscout.com, because it has all the start information, has a little excerpt about Hex, and you can swap within there. You can paste the address and look at your active Hex stakes or ended Hex stakes, and it shows you all your portfolio tokens within that address too. So many awesome things, the T-share price and charts.
I think the on the buy crypto and go roll DeFi, if you click Hex, it should go to Hex Scout with change now. Yeah.
You can swap between the Ethereum and PulseChain values, and you can click between the dollar value and the Hex value. So it's so easy with the menu on the left, and it's really, my boomer friends are able to navigate it and make Hex stakes on their own now, which is so amazing. That it's been a huge help for me.
It's a great website. Shout out to Hex.
They have an app too, the Hex Scout app.
Yeah, that's right. Crypty, tell us about Ski Cat Day.
Okay. Ski Cat Day was on Hex's birthday, so December 1st, and 2020 when I hopped on a live stream with Captain RG3 and Dollar Cost Crypto. I was just learning about Hex and asking them questions about it, and Ski Cat, a super huge legendary Hexican, was in the chat and was happy that I was learning about Hex, and then wanted to, I guess, incentivize that learning more, and offered to send me 1 million Hex if I were to stake it. And so when Captain RG3 and Dollar Cost mentioned that in the chat, Ski Cat in the chat would send me 1 million Hex, I was like, oh, what? Really? I was like, no way. And then I'm like, oh yeah, of course I'll stake it. I was like, wow, I didn't, I'm just learning about Hex, but what an awesome, benevolent individual. And then I continued asking questions about Hex, and Ski Cat pledges another 1 million Hex in the live chat on stream. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, thank you. Ski Cat is amazing. The Hex community is amazing. And then Ski Cat ends up pledging another 500,000 Hex. So 2.5 million Hex total for me if I were to stake it all. And the thoughts going through my head were about the future, my posterity, my future family, what humanitarian projects I'll be able to do in the future with that Hex, staking it for a long time. And because Hex is a multiplier, you stake it, you multiply it, you get more Hex at the end of your stake, then that passive income and that multiplier is just going to be a huge blessing to the future, not just for me, but I'm thinking of humanitarian projects. So at that time too, was really financially hard for me. It was like, I was so broke. I was so broke, and I was just like scraping $20, $50 into crypto investments because I had all these car repair payments, and I wanted to be in crypto, and I'm a Gen Z, so I know that crypto really is the path for Gen Z to get out of that trillions of dollars of debt we were born into, US debt. So realizing all of that, I was actually so grateful, and I was tearing up. And I couldn't finish the stream. I was just so grateful. So I was crying, and after I hopped off stream, I cried for like 10 minutes, tears of joy and gratitude. And then I hopped on Twitter, and I posted this video thanking SkiCat and the HEX community. And SkiCat, the live stream saw that, and they addressed it on the stream too. They're like, oh wow, look at this, she posted a video. And it was so cool. That video also reached so many other communities that I was in at the time, like Digibyte and Celsius, and actually a lot of Celsians invested in HEX because of that, which I'm so grateful for, because like thankfully some of those Celsians didn't get completely screwed by them switching to HEX too. Some switched completely, but some just invested in HEX because of that testimonial video.
Yeah,
And
I remember.
SkiCat ended up sending me 3 million HEX. SkiCat ended up sending me 3 million HEX. I staked 2 million of that HEX for 5,555 days. Can you guys still hear me? I think I saw my screen blink.
Nice. I'm
Okay.
listening. I like this story.
I staked 2 million of it for the full 15 years, and the other 1 million, Dollar Cost Crypto, he actually offered to help me with my staking. So we hopped on a call after he was helping me with strategies for the staking ladder. I decided to do the other 1 million HEX in a ladder for every single year for the next 15 years. So I'd have some stake for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, all the way up. And it's just like, it's so cool because those 15-year stakes, I've already served almost 5 years, and I've just got 10 years, just over 10 years left to go too. And some of the APYs on those are 40 to 70% APY. It's just absolutely amazing. And the blessings continue with things like Communis offering additional incentives, or Hedron and Icosa. But I'm so excited. Oh, and especially with the PulseChain fork with those now PHEX stakes too. I'm so excited for just being able to use those for funding really amazing technologies in the future. I cannot wait. Actually, I think I would love to build a spaceport. That would be so cool. Like, think of me as a little Elon Musk in 10 years.
I like it. All right.
Well,
Powerful
I wish for you that HEX will be $55 when you're staking.
55.
For all
It's kind
of
of bearish,
us.
Crispy man.
I know. This guy's a little bearish.
Minimum $3.69. $555.55 per HEX. Wow.
That is an awesome story.
Everyone,
so thank you, SkiCat. Thank you, SkiCat.
Yeah. And so
happy
SkiCat Day
HEX
is
birthday.
December 1st. Is it the day before? Is that when it was?
SkiCat Day? It was on Hex's birthday.
Oh, it's okay. It's on. Okay, so it was the second then. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I thought. All right, we shall end it there. What an amazing note! Powerful stories, lots of fun stuff. Crispy, what do you want to take us out? We'll start with you. What do you want to take us out on? Any best wishes? Any? Of course, you got your handle in there as well, where people can find you. But what do you want to take us out on, Crispy?
Hey, I would say this. I'd like to thank everybody in the community. Maddie did a great job with coming up with the idea of doing a 24-hour stream and streaming for another 24 hours.
Yeah, shout out to Maddie.
It was a pretty good day in the last 24 hours. A lot more of people coming together, and I like that a lot. that we were able to do that, and look forward to more great times like that.
Crypty, I don't know how you could top the story, but try your best.
Well, thank you all so much. RHMax, you're awesome for the community. Our community is so lucky to have you. And same with you, Crispy Man and Kong for the moon math, and Whitney for you onboarding everyone and teaching them about crypto and the HEX ecosystem. Thank you all for the work that you guys do. This community is really great. We're so lucky to be here.
I've been inspired by many, many people in this community for sure. For sure.
Okay, yeah.
Whitney Magic.
I'm so grateful for our community. More than anything, like we have everything on so many levels, but the community, especially for me, where like I'm such a deep feeler and also my people are deep feelers too. Like this is just something that can be felt and explained mathematically in a way that makes so much sense, that goes like way further beyond. And so I've just been so grateful for the brightness of our community, how everyone comes together, accepts everyone for as it is. And we truly have this sense of belonging, even if we don't know each other. It's really extraordinary. And I'm just grateful for everyone who's in the audience and all of us that are on the camera here and beyond.
I think I met all of you in person except Kong. He's the only one. Kong, you got to come to meetup sometime, man. If you ever
I was
feel
going to
like
say, I don't know how I'm going to top your guys' like little exit comments there, but yeah, I hope to see I hope to see all of you guys in Las Vegas. I hope to hopefully we can meet up and stuff, and like I
You gonna
appreciate
come to the
entire
369 tour?
I'm thinking about it. I'm more inclined to yes this year around, so I hope to see all the Hexkins, including you guys, all on stream here as well, because I've been seeing very many Hexkins in person, so yeah, it'd be great to kind of say what's up to everyone. So yeah, I appreciate the community, appreciate everyone here, and I think it was an awesome stream. So yeah,
We're real people. We're not
real
just
people.
we're not just AI.
you're not AI,
Not
not
just
yet.
avatars and AI. Yeah.
Not right now.
Not avatars yet. So.
Later.
Everyone, happy birthday, Hex. Again, I appreciate these moments and things we get that it's been an amazing past 5 years, and hopefully again on to 550 more at least. That's where I'm going with it. Scivive and 5555. We are out.
Take it easy. Thanks.